Hello everyone, welcome to the College Point. Today we will be learning about the topic into the IKS, that is mathematics. We will try to cover maximum of the points under this concept, and we will also understand the important terms from the IKS perspective. So if you have not watched the previous video related to Ayurveda, please view it. And if you want to also get idea about the first year open electives environment education subject, then you can visit this channel video part, and there you will find all the related videos specifically into this your own channel, that is the College Point. So we will start with this now. Before we start with the actual contents related to mathematics, I would like to tell you the perspective of what the important contributors under the mathematics in India, what was their perception of math. So, one of the very famous person, Aryabhata, once said, Ganitah Moolam Sarva Vidyanam. It means maths has the answer of all the questions of universe. So you can imagine what prominence the ancient India had of maths, and now also we still follow the same prominent, and we are the Indians who actually discovered many of the important mathematical formulas we gave to this world, and we can see the world is flourishing as well as the India is also flourishing. So without wasting any time, I will directly go to the content and will present you all the important information related to mathematics from the ancient Indian knowledge perspective, IKS perspective. So, not only in India but all around the world, this concept of pi is very prominent and very famous, right? So, what is pi actually? Basically, this it connects the geometry, calculus, trigonometry, statistics, and even the number theory type of knowledge, and that's why the pi is very much important concept for the mathematician. Going ahead, we will see the various important contributors under mathematics. The first one is the Bodhayana. He wrote the book which is known as Sulbasutra, and the techniques, the way of doing mathematical calculations, etc., were used for the creating fire altars, and which is these fire altars are known as Yagya Kunda, where the sages used to offer sacrifice to the god. The second important and the very famous contributor to the ancient Indian mathematics is the Aryabhatta. So his contribution in the pi concept we will look over here. He gave the numbers to the pi, that is 3.1416, and in that time during his era, this accuracy was very much prominent and widely accepted by the sages all around there. The second next one is the Madhava. He discovered the infinite series of pi, and he also founded the Kerala School of Mathematics and Astronomy. So this school was very prominent from the perspective of learning mathematics in the ancient India. Now we will move to the next point ahead. The next person is Nilakantha. He extended the work of the Madhavas, and he provided the faster way to find the value of pi. The book which he wrote is the Tantra Sangraha. Tantra Sangraha was the book which was written by him. The next prominent person is Parameshwara, who worked on the trigonometric and pi values. He worked on the trigonometry. As you know, trigonometry has its roots from India, and I will tell you one story related to trigonometric this thing, so that you can get the emphasis of and the importance of it. So now we will be looking about the timeline of all those important contributors. The timeline was around, the time estimated is from 500 to 1200 AD, right? So Aryabhatta 496 AD, Varahamihira was in 505 AD, Bhaskara was in 600 AD, Brahmagupta 628 AD, Mahavira 850 AD, Sridhara 850 AD, Shripati 1039 AD, and Bhaskara 2 is 1114 AD. So Aryabhatta, now we will look about certain books written by the various contributors. Aryabhatta wrote the book named as Aryabhatiya. This book consists of two parts. These two parts name is Dasagdika and Ganita. Okay, Dasagdika deals with the parameters on decimal scale, discovery of zero, and elements of trigonometry, while the Ganita concept contains 8 fundamental concepts. These fundamental concepts are plus, minus, multiplication, divide, square root, finding out the square, cube, and cube root. These are the 8 fundamental principles of basic mathematics was given by Aryabhatta in his book Aryabhatiya, which was divided into two parts, Dasagdiga and Ganita. Now we will be moving to the next person book, Brahmagupta. He wrote two books named as Brahmasputa and Kutkataka. Sometime it is also known as a Kutaka. Okay, so Brahmasputa Siddhanta, this emphasizes the basic Ganit principle, basic mathematical concepts, while Kutaka or Kataka emphasizes the solving linear discrete variable. So when you do the problems related to statistics, you will definitely find this concept of linear variables and discrete variables and all. So these concepts were written by Brahmagupta in his book. Next we will move to the next person contribution, the book that is Bhaskara 2, the very prominent, another important person under Indian mathematics. The first book that he wrote is Lilavati, and this Lilavati book is on the book's name. Lilavati was actually on the Bhaskara's daughter's name. Her name was also Lilavati. So Lilavati related to the maths and Bijganit, which is also known as algebra. So Bhaskara too wrote two types of books, Lilavati and Bijganit. Next is arithmetic. Okay, arithmetic, as you know, in English we say it as arithmetic, but in Sanskrit, in ancient India, it was known as Pati Ganita. Pati means board and Ganit means maths. So arithmetic basically means the problems which can only be solved using writing material. There needs to be some or the other writing material, blackboard, chalk, something, so that we can solve all the equations over there. Okay, so that's why arithmetic is also known as Patiganita. Now, as you know, the 8 fundamental mathematical symbols, right? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, then you have division, right? Then you have square, and you have square root, you have cube, and you have cube root. These are the 8 fundamental questions. So in ancient India, there were different names and meanings of all these symbols and what they represent, that we will look towards now. As we generally know, addition means adding something, but in Sanskrit language it is also known as Samakalita, right? Samkalita means adding together, made together. Samyojana means joining. Ekikaran means combining. Yukti means finding and collecting. So all these are the various different names of the addition. Subtraction means removing something from the total, right? So it is the remaining part, the residue part is known as sesha. The different names of the subtraction is first is yukti, yukalita, vyukalita, which means to make apart. Shodhana, which means clearing. Patana means reduction, or we can say causing to fall. Next is your Viyoga means separation. So out of the total, if you remove some part, then you find this subtraction, Patana, Shodhana, Vyutkalita and all. Antara basically means difference, the remaining part, which is also known as Sesha. Now we will talk about Ganita. Ganita basically multiplication is sorry, not Ganit. Multiplication basically means guna. Okay, multiplicator is known as gunaka, and the product, the answer, is known as gunafala. So these important concepts you have to note down. This can be asked in your objective question. Multiplication is known as guna, the multiplicators is known as gunaka, and the product or the answer is known as gunafala. In the same way, division means to break down into different parts. So division is also known as bhagahara, bhajana, harana, chedana. This all means to divide or to take away or to discrete the values accordingly. Dividend is known as bhajya, divisor is known as bhajaka, and quotient is known as labdhi, which is generally the answer that you have got after dividing. So when you divide the final answer you got over here, this is known as quotient, and this quotient is known as labdhi. Okay, now fraction, the oldest record of fraction is found in Rig Veda. Okay, so this is the important point that you have to note. Fraction has different types of fractions. We have every number out of 100 there is a fraction. So ardha means half, tripada means 3/4, and Maitrayani Samhita, Kala means 1/16. Okay. Kushtha means 1/12. Safa means 1/8. Pada means 1/4. Saptabhaga means 1/7. And Panchadasha Bhaga means 1/15. Okay. In the same way, when we move towards the next part, that is square is known as Varga or Kriti. So Vargakar means square. Okay, and kriti is also known as the square, and finding out the square root means mula. Okay, means the bottom of everything. Mula, the roots. Vargamula means square root. So when you combine these two concepts of square and square root, you will find this square root concept or Vargamula concept. Now we will be moving towards the next part, that is geometry, and this geometry has its root in the different sources. Bodhayana's Sulbasutra has the knowledge about geometry, and along with Apastamba and Katyayana. Okay. So there are different sources of geometry over here. As we know that geometry consists of different shapes and angles. The most prominent shapes under geometry is triangle. Every student learns about different types of triangles, and in the same way in the ancient India also there was the knowledge provided to the students. So the concept related to triangles is written in the Sulbasutra, and as you know that Sulbasutra is written by it is written by Bodhayana, right? So as there are three types of triangle: equilateral, isosceles, and scalene triangle. Okay, these triangles had different names, but the concept was same under the ancient Indian mathematics. The equilateral triangle was known as Samakona means all the angles are equal, right? Kona means corners. Then you have Dvisama means two sides are equal, either these two sides, right, or either this two side. So isosceles triangle is known as a Dvisama triangle. And scalene triangle means the triangle does not have any specific angles. All the three angles of the triangles are different, as you can see over here, right? So this type of scalene triangle is in the ancient India, it was known as Visham Tribuja means all the three angles were different. In Sulbasutra, one can see the application and various geometric construction many hundred years before Pythagoras. The problem that still all the students are learning about Pythagoras and the various other people and not about the Indian contributors, because of the knowledge was not provided sufficiently, and now in IKS you have got a chance to relearn all those things that we have almost lost, and to progress that knowledge ahead by going yourself, you're making your career into various different dimensions. Okay, now we will move to the next part, algebra. Algebra means bij ganit, right? Bij means science of calculation with element. Bij means we can say seeds. So algebra is also known as avyakta ganit. Avyakta means which cannot be seen, the calculation of which is unknown. Generally in algebra we find x, we find y. So either we find x, either we find y, right? So this is avyakta. Through the solution we will be able to know the answer of x and y. So that is why it is known as avyakta ganit, means at present the answer is not available to us. So Sulbasutra is very much equivalent to linear equation, right? So the knowledge of linear equation is written in the Sulbasutra. Aryabhata contributed to binomial equation expansion. See what a vast knowledge we Indians had, and we have to again popularize all this knowledge as you students are learning. I hope that you will contribute to this knowledge ahead again. Trigonometry, the very important concepts of trigonometry, and this part we will be learning in the next video. So many things are there now also that we will be learning. So I am making 2 videos of this. Thank you so much. We will be learning and meeting in the next video itself.